I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Taos Academy Governing Council at 5:33 p.m. Can I please call to ascertain your quorum, please? Amy,
Yes.
if you wouldn't mind. Thank you.
Sure. Sam,
Here.
Laura,
Here.
Barbara, Martin.
Martin is not present. But we have a quorum of 3, so we've established our quorum. Next, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the
United States of
States of
America,
America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Yay. Next is the approval of our agenda for our August 10th meeting today. Are there any comments on our agenda? Seeing none, I will move to approve our agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
Barbara technically seconded, but it wasn't very loud. So, Amy, your choice.
Okay. Roll call. Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes. Excellent. Next is the approval of our draft minutes from June. We did not meet in July, just for the record. But we have our draft minutes from June 8th. I have reviewed the minutes. They look fine to me. If there's anyone who has something to say about them, now would be the time. I will move to approve our draft minutes from our June 8th meeting. Second. Barb seconded. Amy?
Okay. Roll call. Sam,
Yeah.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. Next is an opportunity for the public to speak. Are there any members of the public who wish to address the board at this time? Please raise your digital hand. There are no members of the public here in our space. Seeing none, we will move to the next portion of our agenda, item G, financial reports from the finance director and finance committee. Elena, hello, good evening.
Hey everyone. So you all received your board packet back for the June meeting and then again for this meeting. So you have both. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. But we're wrapping up fiscal year 26. We've really wrapped it up. Now we're working on audit for fiscal year 26 and working on fiscal year 27, getting all the new people in the system and that kind of stuff. But all reports were submitted timely to the agencies that were required to send them to. And now we're just working on audit. Did anybody have anything for me right now?
No, we are going to approve a bunch of bars though, aren't we?
Yes, there's a lot of bars, guys. Hold on just a
Whole
minute.
bunch of them.
I have to pull that up.
Oh,
So-
I'm sorry.
and-
Before we move to that though, we have the salary schedule on the agenda next.
Oh, are we wanting to do the salary schedule first?
I think it was it's in the, that's the next piece. It was the business services update, then the salary schedule. I apologize for bringing up bars.
That's okay. So the salary schedule, we just had a need to add in the position of a coordinator because we were doing our flex program. We were going to do it with outside agency, but we really cannot do that. So we needed to add in a coordinator position. So, and then there's a couple other positions that really fall under coordinator as well. We had taken them out at the beginning.
this curriculum digital flex coordinator?
So that's not all the same person. There's a curriculum coordinator, a digital coordinator, and a flex coordinator.
Got it.
They're all different people. But that's really where their jobs, once Denisha started looking at everybody's, what their role really was, that really made more sense to put them under a coordinator position rather than a teaching position, because most of them are not teaching, but a very small amount of time.
Got it. Are there any other changes to this out? This is the only one, correct?
That is the one, yes.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have questions?
No.
Seeing none, I will move to approve the Taos Academy Charter School salary schedule for school year 26-27. Second. I motioned and then Barb seconded.
Thank you.
And then because this is money, we do want to call.
Okay, roll call. Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, next is our it's discussion and possible action. There's a foundation memorandum of understanding. I don't think that was, I don't know if I saw that.
So they do not have one ready for us yet. And probably, Sam, that's something that we need to talk about again, because the attorney had said something and then it said something else in a different email. So I wanted to make sure we're clear on that. So our understanding is we've worked on an MOU basis in the past for paying the foundation for some of the administrative tasks they have that work for us.
Right?
But our attorney believes that that should be part of our lease purchase.
Okay.
So that's what we were going to work on. And Karen was writing to her over the weekend. I don't know if you saw those.
I did see some of that communication. It sounds like we probably just need to table it until we have a better understanding and things are more clear and we have a
Correct.
MOU we can review.
Yes, correct.
So I'm going to table, I'll move to table the foundation MOU. I have a second, please.
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll. Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Excellent. Next, we have bar approvals, including ratification.
Yes, and all we have is ratifications tonight. And back in May, you guys gave me permission to do any bars that needed to be done to complete the year. And that's what we're going back to. So we have several. So bar 21M is a maintenance bar for Fund 26107. That's our REC money. And that's to bring the budget into alignment with the expenditure needs. Bar 22I is an increased bar for Fund 11,000 operational in the amount of $21,984.90. That was an increase for the school's portion of the hold harmless provision that was brought in because of the at-risk units. Because a lot of people, when they changed the at-risk units, a lot of schools lost a lot of money. So they were giving all the schools back a portion of that. Bar 23D has been voided. The school said it wasn't unnecessary. It was something for Title I.
Okay.
Bar 24I is an increased bar for Fund 24189, and that's Title IV money in the amount of $58.11, and that was according to our final award letter. Bar 25D is a decreased bar for Fund 24154, Title II. The amount of the decrease was $1,886, according to the final award letter. Bar 26M was voided. That was a maintenance bar. Bar 27I is an increased bar for Fund 24160. That's our rural and low-income schools. The amount of the increase was $1,795.94. Bar 28I is an increased bar for Fund 26107. Again, that's the REC. And it was a district fiscal for the reimbursement of a hard-to-staff stipend from PED for sped personnel. And they had to be with us for several years, and we had one person qualify. The amount of the award was $2,500. Bar, what was that bar? Would have to be 29 and 30. Sorry, guys, I missed putting the numbers in. 29 was a decreased bar for Fund 31900 for Ed Tech Bond. The amount of the decrease was $201,151. The decrease was to bring the fund to the audited cash balance. And then bar 31900 is an increased bar to bring the balance of the revenue code to the proper balance. And that was just a thing that we needed to do. And again, that was $201,151.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Bar 31M, it's just where it had to be. It was in the wrong line item. Okay, so bar 31M is a maintenance bar for Fund 31100, just to bring the budget into alignment with actual expenditure needs. Bar 32 and 33 were both voided. They were maintenance bars that were voided. 34D is a decreased bar for Fund 31100, and the amount was $62,451 decreased, and that was to bring it to the audited cash balance. 35M and 36M were both to bring our Fund 11,000 in different functions into budget alignment with our actual expenditure needs.
Okay.
And those are all of them. There was a lot. Sorry for so many.
That's okay. So when we approve this, I think I need to say the bars, right?
You can say bars that were presented, bar 21 through 36 for last fiscal year.
Okay. So, can I just ask you a question well, actually, I'll motion to approve it and then I'll ask a question. So I will motion to ratify bars 21M through 36M as presented for for school year 2025-2026.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay,
And
roll.
Amy, I'm going to help you with the minutes too.
Actually,
Okay. Perfect.
before we do the roll call, Amy, I just have a question.
Sure.
So, for the hold harmless money, Deanna, is that something that's going to happen? Like, how many years is that?
I don't
Is this the
expect
last
it to happen again for us, because according to our 910B5, which is our funding formula, it did not look like there was any held for us for this next year.
Got it. Are there any other discussion points on these bars before we roll call? No? Okay. Thank you, Amy. Would you need roll calling?
Sure. Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
motion carried.
Motion carries.
Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
next we have our Finance and Audit Committee update. The Finance Committee met, and we looked at our budget from our budget, was it our budget to actual, our net position? We looked at the check register. I asked a couple questions related to some invoices that I couldn't find any issues. And this was for the previous fiscal year. We will review, I assume, the financials for July during our September meeting.
Yes.
And the financial packet was sent to the rest of the board. Is there anyone who has a question at this time?
No questions for me. Did I just drop out? Or did they drop out?
I don't think so. I don't know.
And had they, somebody vanished.
Oh, it looks like the part of people are gone. Yes. Mary's still there, but
Taos, everybody else's, the owl cam seems to.
yeah, it looks like the
Right.
owl cam went
Out.
out.
There they are. Maybe?
And they're back.
No,
And we didn't lose anything. Everyone was still.
This is also where we usually
And
approve. Sorry. This is also where we usually approve the unaudited financial reports.
Yes. So unless there's any other questions, which I don't think there are, I will move to approve the financial reports. Second.
Is that Barbara?
In a second.
Barbara. Okay. Roll call, Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and Barbara.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And then Amy, just for the minutes, Deanna said like the audit's underway. The audit committee has not been asked to convene yet, but we will do so when called upon by the auditor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Next. Financial indicator agenda discussion. So I just wanted to make everyone aware, and Deanna also brought this to our attention, that in our new performance framework, right, the business rules identify some language that need to be in our minutes going forward. Now, to be clear, this is the work that the finance committee does, right? Like we look at our net position, we look at our budget to actual, we look at our statement of revenues and expenditures and changes in our fund balance and our cash flow, and we ask questions, right? But the Charter Schools Division is now asking that language ends up in our minutes so that it's very clear that the finance committee is in fact reviewing these materials. And I can say with certainty that we are looking and reviewing these pieces. But just going forward, you know, when we do our finance committee report out, it will, you know, whoever's doing it from the finance committee say something like, we have reviewed a statement of X, Y, and Z and discussed it as a committee. In addition to that, they're also asking that we test an internal control at least annually. We've discussed doing it quarterly because it's just a better practice.
Test what? I'm sorry, it cut out a little. What are we testing?
Conduct an internal control test.
Okay.
Which would be for the finance committee. And so it could be pulling something from the register and asking to see the paper trail to make sure that everything aligns. Maybe it's looking at a contract to make sure that someone is being adequately paid for their licensure. There's lots of different ways that we can test controls. And I'm sure that it will change quarterly to keep things spicy. But for the most part, that's what we plan to do. Is the requirement is that we will to test annually, but we have decided to test quarterly. Are there any questions about just the language that needs to be in our minutes for our business rules for financial? I think it's the indicator 4D. No? Okay, we don't need to approve that. It's just informational, and wanted to just make sure that everyone on our board knew. We'll now move on to our executive director report to the governing council. Dr. Denisha Moodley's very first one to us. You guys, it's exciting.
Hi, everyone. You all good?
Good.
So I'll start with updates on staffing. Do you all have any questions about the report before I move forward with updates on staffing? I don't think so. Okay. As of August 10th, we are still fully our staff did participate in a professional development Starting with our level 1 staff members, making sure that they had support with lesson plan development. And this was back in July. And then we ran the beginning of year PD on August 3rd and August 4th. Move to updates on student enrollment. Any questions?
I forgive me, I'm having a hard time finding your report, and I know that you sent it. Oh, I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I'm not sure how it was distributed.
I found it.
And I also resent it.
Thank you. Sorry, I knew that you had sent it. So our current, I do have one. Didn't come tonight. Well, so our current enrollment is 204.
Actually, I'm pleased to report it's now 214.
214.
That's great.
Deanna, what did we project? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
199.5.
That's exciting.
That
So
would be very good for us.
if we keep that by 40th day, then we will be eligible for gross units, yeah?
Correct.
Woohoo! That's good stuff.
As a subtopic, just discussing some of the initiatives, offering personal tours over the summer. Also facilitating the needs assessments and really addressing with families in an intimate setting how some of their concerns were going to be addressed. We were able to get some kids to reconsider their disenrollment. We also, Mr. Cal Van Willigen has done an excellent job of scouting more instructors for our STEAM program. And we've now expanded to include clowning and carpentry as well. One thing I feel could be a point of improvement for next summer, I recently learned that the town of Taos has many events where schools promote themselves. And so this past Saturday, there was the Touch a Trunk event. And until I got there, I didn't realize that schools actually go up with their booths and encourage people to apply.
What is it called? The Touch a Trunk?
Touch
A
a Trunk.
truck.
Oh, got it. And where is that, on the plaza?
It's the youth center. Yeah. So the fire station goes, police department.
Oh, the Touch a Trunk.
Yeah.
Oh, got you. Okay. That's cool.
So something for next year. I would really like for us to have a booth there.
That'd be great.
Okay, and then I'll move on to the next piece, discussion of our acknowledgement for stakeholders. Essentially, what I would like to do to have the community be more recognized in our board meetings is acknowledge a stakeholder who has supported one of our 9 pillars of learning. We would have a pre-report to you all where we discuss what their acknowledgement is for and how it relates. They would come in for 2 minutes at the beginning of our session and receive a certificate for their contributions to the 9 or one of the 9 pillars of learning.
And so, okay, so during board meetings, they will come, a member who has demonstrated one of the 9 pillars will come during our meeting and receive a certificate. And I'm being very rhetorical right now, but we will be told which pillar and why. There will be some sort of informational so that we're getting a sense of what people are doing and how they're being distinguished. Okay, great. And this is in response to the board's request for having some teacher, just so we have a better understanding of who's here and what are the wonderful things that they're doing. Correct?
That is correct. In addition, during the process of me learning about some of the other expectations you all had for this job, you wanted to know about student enrollment and how we can increase that. In our local district, athletics is a big part of the board meetings and kids being recognized.
Yes.
This is one platform that we could use to really acknowledge our student athletes who sometimes feel disconnected because they play for the municipal schools and their team members get recognized by that board, but not by ours. And I think it just opens up more exposure to some of the great things our kids are doing. We have a student who went to Berkeley over the summer. We have a student who went to Johns Hopkins over the summer. I think it's just very inspiring.
So it's teachers or students.
My recommendation is that we do a youth and an adult.
Love it. I just want to put a pin very quickly. The potential new board members outside. How do I can I just open it?
Sure, I can do it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I have a pizza for us.
Oh, thank you. Okay, that's good. Does anyone have any like questions or feedback on that? I think that's a pretty good idea.
I do too.
I really like it.
I'm excited.
I'm excited,
Thanks.
and I love that it's students and staff.
Me too.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I guess I'll wait. I have another quick question for Tanisha, but I'll wait till she's back. Did you, or maybe Barb, Laura, you know, did she say that it would be every meeting? There would be one teacher and one student?
I think that was the idea.
Okay, that's great. I really like that.
You know, a couple of minutes. Great to showcase some, acknowledge. Yeah, sounds great.
So positive.
Yeah, so positive, because that's, you know, look at numbers, but we also want to know, the exciting things that are happening inside the building.
I want to see clowns.
I want to see clown. I was going to ask a snarky question, like, is the person who's teaching clowning, are they also teaching carpentry? We know that it's different.
Hopefully not.
We know it's different, but I was like, I love that because it's C&C. And so I'll wait for Tanisha, but I'll just throw it out to the board. Like, do we have the capacity to do carpentry on campus? Does someone bring their woodworking tools? Like, I'm curious. Or are people going off-site? I'll wait. Who's curious?
I think, Sam, she's going to use the CTE, the new shed that's got a little, it's like a little garage with a little canopy. I
It's
think
in
they're
between
going to,
it's in between
the
the
STEM and
auditorium.
yeah. I think that's what she's going to use, yeah.
That's what I was thinking, but I didn't know.
How are you? Good, how are you? Thanks for coming to the apocalypse.
Oh, thank you. I know it's so smoky here. I couldn't believe how apocalyptic.
It is, isn't it? Blind.
Your bangs. Yes. Oh, thank you. Sure, I'd be grippins. And then when you are up, we will introduce you. Okay. I think it's Denise. Oh, there she is. She was looking for your pizza, which I think has been stolen. Someone stole her pizza? That's rude. I'm sorry.
House.
Keisha, I just have a quick question for you. Is carpentry, are we using CTE funding for that, or? Pam was saying it's maybe in like what we're gonna be using some small facility on the campus, because I was wondering, like capacity wise, like how we would implement that
So
here.
it is a very exploratory class.
Yeah.
We do not have, it's a STEAM class, so we don't have the, voc tech certified person to do a full CTE level, carpentry class, nor do we have the machinery.
Okay.
So this will be an exploratory type of course for middle schoolers only. They'll be refurbishing furniture, looking at community projects. Specifically, the instructor would like to partner with our senior citizen center here and try to refurbish some of their items. Put together things like bird feeders. So all of the pre-cuts will be made and it will be assembling.
Oh, okay, because my next question was gonna be about insurance. This is good, this is good.
This is assembly.
Mhm. That's amazing. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
Are there any board members that have other questions about it? All right, thank you. And then I think there's just one other piece on here for safety and compliance.
So I have updates on facilities. Are there any questions before I go over what I have? Okay, so I guess I'll go to the fact that our special use permit was approved. And we do have a provisional approval.
Amazing.
We need to make sure that we have a site analysis done, a site traffic assessment.
Okay.
And the point person at Living Designs, Douglas, is working with us to help find someone to facilitate that.
Okay. Did he say that it's fairly, like it's a fairly simple thing that people do here? Is it, we're gonna have to contract out for it?
We'll have to contract out. The people he knows are mostly in Albuquerque.
Okay.
So we will probably put out an RFP.
Oh, it's gonna require an RFP. So it's costly.
It's a costly process,
Okay.
and it's a timely one too.
And so that was gonna be my next question. So did the town of Taos say that we needed to have it complete by X date?
They did not.
Okay, so as long as we are good faith effort making it happen.
The one thing that I'll just be transparent about, one of the commissioners brought up that the decision on giving us this approval was one where he had to consider the precedent they are setting, where we essentially did something for several years and we're now trying to regain compliance. He made the comment, what does this mean in terms of setting the precedent that people do what they want and then ask for forgiveness later? So I really want to encourage our board to support any plans we have to make sure that we meet the town's provisional requests.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad that they moved in that direction because it ultimately, adults, it's like we want to make sure that we are doing what's in the best interest of students and making sure that we are able to maintain our facilities and that, adult actions are not impacting kids, right? And so moving forward, I guess, does that mean like working more closely with our architect, our attorney? Like, did they give advice on like how to ensure that we are?
No, they didn't give advice. They didn't give a deadline either.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my point of discussion is just let's do it in an appropriate time frame
Yes.
and not just take the grace that they've given us and not fulfill what they've asked us to do.
And so are we using like ACEs to help us with that RFP process, or is the school doing its own RFP internally, or?
So that's something that Ms. Mooney and I will work on.
Okay, great.
Following up.
Because I think there's, and Deanna, correct me if I'm wrong, like I think once you put an RFP, there's a waiting process, right? So at a minimum, it's like a 30-day before we can even use, I'm not a CPO, but I feel like I've heard about this. Like there's a grace period or waiting period, right?
Somewhat. So for an RFP, we have to wait for anybody that has objections to it. And the board usually does an approval after the RFP as well.
Got it. And so that process from start to finish of approval, is that like a month, 2 months? It just depends.
It's usually about 6 weeks to 2 months, but it can be done in a shorter amount of time because we do have to advertise any RFP. And by the time we get it scheduled for a board meeting and all those things, it's usually about a 6-week process.
Okay. So doing it as quickly as we can within the parameters of procurement law, but being diligent. That sounds fair.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions about that?
What did we do wrong?
We didn't ask for, we were supposed to get a special use permit, I think, for our wellness building, right? Is it the wellness building? It's one of our buildings. And we
Yes.
didn't do it. We didn't know. I don't know. I think it was like a didn't know.
Mhm.
And then when we went to get, was it e-occupancy or something? When we tried to get it, they said, no, you need to have a special use permit. And so now they have graced us with a provisional approval for our, I think, occupancy of a building, I think, right? And in exchange, we are making good faith effort to get that special use permit
As quickly as
as quickly as we can while also abiding by procurement law.
Do we have the money to do that?
Deanna, we have the money for that, right?
Absolutely.
We do it is.
Yes.
I'll just clarify. So the special use permit is granted, it's approved. It's the site traffic analysis that we're getting this school year.
Thank you, sorry. So it's the site, yes. So we have the permit. Sorry. So for the minute, we have the permit. It's just we are making the best faith effort to conduct an appropriate site traffic analysis.
The last one, that the concern stemmed from the last analysis that was done when the main building was put up. And since then, we have several other buildings, so we need to update that.
Got it.
And just real quick, if we need to go out, we don't necessarily need to go out for bid if it's less than $60,000. We'll just need to get some bids for that.
But we don't know if it's over 60 yet, right?
Right.
Okay, so we're waiting for our architect to put us in contact with someone so we can start getting quotes to better understand what it's going to actually cost the school. And then if we have to do the RFP process, we will.
Correct.
Any questions from the board? Thank you for taking that on and for going to that meeting. I really appreciate that. And if there's anything the board can do to help, please let us know. I think that was the end of the head administrator report, correct? Or do you have something else to share? Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to the fun, which is our bylaws, our brand new bylaws that we are going to adopt. I wanted to try to figure out if I could share them, but I don't know if I can do that. So it might just be easier for me to just send them to the board members. Do you have them? So our attorney shared a shared a template with us. And essentially all I've done is went in and put the school's name where it says school. And I've added our mission statement. And there's a couple pieces that are highlighted that we need to decide as a board how we'd like to move forward. So, go and just let me know when you have it. Did it come?
No.
Not yet. I think. I hope it's going to.
Got it.
You got it? Okay, cool. And so Sue had sent these to us a while back, and we were supposed to discuss them in July, but we did not have quorum. She has updated our bylaws. We have had the same bylaws, quite frankly, since the school started in I don't know what year, but I think it's over 15. And so it was about time to update our bylaws. One of the biggest things that have changed is we had a rotating term situation for board members. She removed that. We can put something back in there if we want about term limits. But it says, I think, essentially as of now that they don't expire. And that is on page 4 of the document under member terms. It says there shall be no limit on the length of a member's tenure of the Taos Academy Council. And so we do serve terms that are 3 years, but if we want to renew them, sometimes boards say like you're not allowed to renew. We are allowed to renew if we so choose. So at that 3-year mark, you can either stay or go if you so choose. I'm going kind of backwards. On page 3, this was another one. It says we shall strive for council members who have experience in business, education, law, finance, real estate, and such other fields beneficial to Taos Academy's mission and the efficient, sound governance of Taos Academy. And additionally, this is a new provision. Parents, grandparents, and other family members of current Taos Academy students shall not be eligible for council membership until their student is no longer attending Taos Academy. That is to avoid any potential for conflict of interest. And so that was not, yep, that was a new provision in our bylaws. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's really wild and crazy in here. Oh, in terms of our election and tenure, so different from our membership, right? Our officer positions. So by law, we are required to have a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And so officers they're limited to a maximum of 2 consecutive terms, which I think is reasonable. We can change it if we'd like. That is totally within our purview. But I think if someone wants to serve twice in a row, good on you. But if not, that's fine too. Any feedback on that?
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I also think it's reasonable that we can serve 3 years and then have the choice to stay if we so choose, especially in a rural setting, like where we're always wanting to bring in new people. The reality is that, finding people who are willing to serve is not always easy. And so if you have dedicated board members, and they want to stay, great.
It can also go the other way. I just was in a community where they have a president of a board who's managing the business, which is totally illegal, but nobody dares to get that president or understand how to get that president off without getting their head chopped off. So,
Well, let's go to our resignations and removal clause.
okay, great.
See how we feel about it. So, an officer may resign their office at any time by giving written notice to the president or to the secretary. The acceptance of such resignation shall not be necessary to make it effective. An officer may be removed from office by the vote of the council whenever, in its judgment, the officer fails to perform the duty of his or her office or other such duties as appointed by the council, or when the best interests of the school would be served thereby. I feel like we're covered there. You feel okay about that, Laura?
I do.
Yeah, I feel good about that. Are there any other areas? The only other thing I want to point out is that on page 6, Vice President, it says the office of Vice President shall be filled by the past president to ensure institutional continuity. If the past president resigns from the council shall elect a vice president. I feel like fine. I'm fine to be the vice. It's fine. If I were to ever not be president, which I might not be soon, but you know, I think that would be fine.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, if I'm not the president anymore, I would be fine being vice president. Does everyone feel like that's fair and reasonable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other, oh, I'm sorry, there are just a couple other things. Our agenda, if you want something on the agenda, we need to be told at least 24 hours prior to the required time that the agenda must be posted. I think that's reasonable. And then if a council member, because as you know, we need to have at least one person here, so that if a member of the public wishes to attend publicly, there's an app for that, they can do it. It's here, right here in the purple lab. But if there's a board, like, you know, when whoever the president is, you know, sending out the, hey, don't forget about the meeting, we need to know one day in advance, like how you are choosing to show up so that we can make sure that there is someone here. Does that sound fair and reasonable to everybody?
Yes.
I think so, right? And then there's just the common, like, you know, remove yourself if something is a conflict, no nepotism allowed. And then for our policy adoption, which is on page 11, and then this is like pretty much the last piece, it says adoption of new policies or the revision or repeal of existing policies is solely the responsibility of the council. Proposals regarding school policies may originate from the head administrator, a council member, council advisors, or committees formed by the council for the purpose of investigating and developing policy. Staff members, students, civic groups, parents, or other interested citizens may request that a council member or the head administrator sponsor a proposed policy or policy change. And so our legal counsel suggested that we consider writing in something about a phased process for policy adoption, where it's like we do a reading, like if there's new policy, right? We do a reading at one meeting and then we vote at the next meeting and then we post after that. If we want to just post, like approve them as they're coming, that's fine too. But if we want to do the phase in, we can include language here. Thoughts from board members?
I kind of like the phase deal just so we can think on it a little bit rather than it having it be real time. Because again, I think, you know, depending on someone's head frame or headspace, you know, something might come to them, you know, before the next board meeting, and then you say, let's talk about it. I unless it's a fire drill problem, that it has to be today. But I'm guessing that probably won't be the case with respect to a policy. But I kind of like the phased option if it's material.
I do too.
Okay, I'm just adding in the language. Okay, so I wrote policies will be phased in the following manner. One, reading of the policy during the first governing council meeting where introduced. Two, vote on the policy during the next regularly scheduled governing council meeting. And three, post the policy on the website, the approved policy on the website thereafter. Does that sound good? Sweet.
Bueno.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that, Laura?
That was my version of bueno.
Oh, I love that. And then the final thing is its signatory authority. The governing council may, by a majority vote, delegate authority to sign contracts as described by resolution to the head administrator consistent with Article 5, paragraph 7 and 8. All checks must be signed by two authorized individuals, neither of which may be the school's business manager. And I think we've already sorted out our signatories, so I think we're good. Does that sound okay to everybody? I got the signatory, Denisha's. We good?
Sounds good.
Any other questions on our bylaws? This is something that once approved, I'll send to all members for signature, or if someone will in Adobe, so it's official. But I will move to approve our newly revised governing council bylaws for school year 25-26. I'm sorry, school year 26-27.
A second.
And Amy, we would take a roll call for this.
Okay, roll call. Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Motion
And
carries.
then thank you. And then I just want to throw into the minutes, Amy, that if there is actually a required notification to our authorizer for a change in bylaws, and so we will need to work on sending that in. And because whoever does the thing, I'll talk to them directly, but typically it's a red line, but we have basically scratched our entire bylaws and started from scratch. So we'll have to just express that in the notification to our authorizer. Just FYI. Yay, that's exciting. New bylaws, people.
Congratulations.
It's a big deal. Next is our review of our Taos Academy handbook.
We'll start with the employee handbook. The changes reflected on page 16. Remove separation of dress code based on gender. Page 19. Outlines teacher duties for covering the class when an employee is out, as well as outline instructional responsibilities that promote high quality instruction, but also adhere to the New Mexico evaluation standards.
Okay.
Page 20 also emphasizes the educator's responsibility to take attendance and make sure that students who are not in attendance are not marked present.
Mm-hmm.
On page 37, we have a co-teaching structure now where some teachers have the ability to run 2 small groups for math or ELA, but they also have the ability to combine classes for exercises that require larger student groups, like group work and collaborative learning.
Cool.
In that process, though, we have outlined that if an employee is co-teaching and does not show up for that class, then they need to follow the process of taking formally. Page 46 outlines that employees who are full-time employees cannot work remote from home. It also outlines summer hours for individuals on contracts that are above 166 days.
Okay.
Classified staff are required to report to the building by 8 a.m., while certified staff are required to report to the building by 10 a.m. during summer hours. Page 53 outlines a teacher redirection rubric so that there's a formal process for teachers to engage in restorative practices and classroom management procedures instead of administration being called to remove the child from the learning environment, practicing our due diligence as practitioners in the classroom to ensure that we do our best to redirect that behavior before we call for an administrator. That is it for the employee handbook. Student handbook. Page 36 through 44 goes over our behavioral policies. Again, taking a more proactive approach to addressing student behavior instead of running a traditional rubric that says, this is the punishment for this behavior. We presented a list of essential behaviors that outline the positive behavior, the behavior we want to see in the building, and how students can go about achieving that desired behavior. And we have it broken up by everywhere on campus, in our advisory classrooms, in our enrichment classrooms, on field trips, and during recess. What are those behaviors that we expect to see? And that's part of educating people on behaviors that are appropriate for school to help adjust. Because we all have cultural behaviors at home, and we need to be able to code switch and adjust to the situation and place that we're at. 36 through 44 also outlines a rubric. We took away our rubric from last year, allowed for teachers to send kids home. So we revised that policy to again make it more restorative, bringing in something in education that we call the SAT process. So where behaviors are continuous, we start a SAT team and work with families to develop plans and provide them with outside resources even that can help redirect the behavior or any kind of cause that's leading to the behavior precipitating the school. And then 46 through 47, we did revise our cell phone policy with the help of our school's attorney. Our policy stated that students could not have phones on campus at all. Whereas the state law says that students should be prohibited from cell phone usage during instructional time. So if you take a look at our labs, we have purchased lock boxes, and students will turn in their phones for the duration of instruction. The policy outlines those times very specifically, but then during our brain breaks, during our recess, students still have the opportunity to engage with their phones. And this is in alignment with Part 3 of the state law. And I'll read it to you. Permit a student to use a wireless communication device in the event of an emergency or to manage the student's health care. In an instructional setting, it is justified students have access to a telephone. During recess, banning a phone but abiding by this provision is not possible because students are outside and we are hindering their ability to get that help. Right. In addition to this, I would say that one of our pillars is digital citizenship. We are a tech school and our students need to have the ability to practice positive digital citizenship. And we will manage this by a case-to-case basis and help redirect digital behaviors that are not appropriate, but eliminating the ability to access phones during breaks is an overreach of what this was intended to do for instruction. Fair. And those are the changes for our student handbook.
Any questions by the board? I am happy with all these changes. I think they're great.
Agreed.
Okay. Seeing nothing but change, I will move to approve the student and staff handbooks for school year 26-27.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Now we will move on to one of the other fun things, which is the indicator 3C assurance. For our performance framework, it should be in your inboxes, Laura and Barb. So in our performance framework, we have many indicators, but the one that is basically the catch-all is indicator 3C, compliance with legal requirements. This used to be, I can't remember which indicator it was, but it was something about meeting reporting requirements, right? Except Charter Schools Division did not have a rubric to identify what those reporting requirements were, right? So the new performance framework, they're shifting to transparency, which we love. And so we have been given a list that very clearly outlines what it is they are looking for from the school. And now what I will say for charter schools is that this is almost like a double review because so much of it is actually reviewed in accreditation. But accreditation came after the rules and statute for a long time. Now enforcing it, right? But this has, for the charter schools, has been around since schools started to renew on this new performance framework. I think Taos Academy wasn't one of the first, but it was maybe in the second or third cycle. So we have to review this annually as a board. And then we submit an assurance to the authorizer saying that we are aware that there are requirements of the school connected to both our authorizer, whether that be amendment and notifications, like we just talked about bylaws change, for example, that would be a requirement of our authorizer, right? However, we also have requirements of the department, and we need to be aware that, you know, there are in exchange for using public dollars to educate children, there are requirements that we have to abide by, like compliance with all of the acts, as I like to call them, the Indian Ed Act, Black Education Act, Hispanic Ed Act, Attendance for Success Act, all the different acts. That we are reporting our data timely, that we are submitting our various plans, school safety, dash plan, literacy plans, all the plans, that we are providing next step planning for our 8th graders and our 12th graders. And the list goes on and on and on. You have it in your email, and that we have all the varying policies. You know, we have a lot of policies at Taos Academy, but there are several policies that are required by law. And so if there are no questions about our awareness of the existence of these requirements from the department, I will move to accept the assurance for indicator 3C for school year 26-27.
My question is, who does this?
Oh, the school. We don't. do
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Then
All
great.
the school does already.
Do we need to
Okay.
know it's done?
We actually can know that how it's done. So before the accreditation portal, our head administrator could tell us. But now there's this cool little shiny apps portal that perhaps our head administrator could maybe bring up for us once per semester and just say, here's where we are in terms of our accreditation reporting. And that'll tell us all of the things essentially on this list. Does that sound very useful to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, I think for the first year or so, I think it helps everybody know we're on track, and we
Yeah.
just churn through these, and and hopefully it
Right.
becomes a machine
Yeah.
as we go forward.
100%. And so again, I will move to accept the assurance for our annual 3C annual compliance requirements for school year 26-27. If I can have a second, please.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call. Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
motion carries.
Great. And so this is something that the board chair and the head administrator will need to sign, and it's uploaded into Epicenter. Okay, next on our agenda is the discussion and possible action of the nomination of a new board member. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
So Estelle, would you mind just introducing yourself to us and just give us a little bit of your background?
Yes. As it relates to Taos Academy, I was a teacher here for 8 years. Both of my kids went to school here, and I'm a big fan of all the potential that Taos Academy has to offer. At one point long ago, Sam was my mentor and my co-teacher. So we're pro teaching classrooms. It can be so fun. Yep. So, and I'm currently an author of young adult books and picture books, and literary agent. And feels like one way that I can contribute to education. It's been sad for me not to be in education, and I missed all my colleagues and everything. And so this just feels like one path, knowing it from so many different angles, actually. So I was delighted when Sam asked if I would come meet you all. Is that good?
That's great.
Okay.
I love that.
Oh, I went to Taos High. I also have been here on and off since I was 14. I lived 10 years on the East Coast and then came back in 2013. So, yeah.
Any comments from the board before I start rambling off stuff? I will start rambling. So, as I just want to make sure that you know that our board meets on the second Monday of the month at 5:30. Our finance meeting meets at 5, but that's only for committee members. But our meeting is at 5:30. We do need someone to be here in person. I think we might have like kids start like cooking for us, and so like it might get kind of cool and wacky. It's hard to say. We'll see.
I do live about 7
I
minutes
know,
away
7
from
minutes
here, so
away.
I'm always.
And yes, and so we also are adopting a new thing where we will have like a certificate that is provided to a student and a staff member regarding our 9 pillars at Taos Academy. And so we're changing up the meetings a little bit so that there's a little more interaction with our community, and so that we are not just like crunching the numbers and approving policy, which is what we do, but we're also getting a sense of some of the lighter, more joyful things that are happening inside the school. In addition to that, as a member, all members have a requirement for training. And so we're in the not as fun group right now because you have to do the required training by PD, but it's in Canvas and it's asynchronous at your own pace. And so you can just kind of chip away at it as long as it's done before June 30th.
Okay.
Once you are out of the green space into the seasoned space, then we do have embedded training through PCS&M in our meetings. And so it's a lot less cumbersome after that. But I do think like the Canvas training kind of helps you about like, we have a fiduciary stewards of public trust and yada, 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 et cetera, right? And all that stuff's very important. Yeah. And so it's good for you to get that kind of crash course in what it means. In addition to that, there is a packet that we have to complete for you. And so once, we vote, there is the one thing is that we have to have you complete an affidavit because we are a state authorized charter school. We are a board of finance. Usually like in a district or whatever, it's like the central office is the board of, the local school board is the board of finance, right? We are our own district. Therefore we are the board of finance. And so we have to do an authorized affidavit stating that we will, be stewards of the public money. And so, do you have any questions?
No.
Oh, any of it? Okay. And like, do we have a notary here? We used to.
Amy is a notary.
Ooh, so if you want to come get it notarized here, that's easy. I think I did that.
I would love to. Then I can say hi to Amy.
Yeah, then you can say hi to Amy. That'd be great. And then there's, other things that we'll ask for your signature on and stuff. But for the most part, this is what we do. Okay. Any questions from board members? Then I will move to nominate Estelle Lohr as a governing council member.
I second.
Okay, roll call. Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Yay!
Motion
Welcome to
carries.
the board. Okay, board member. Yay! Okay, cool. Welcome.
Welcome. I'm excited that I got to hear some of this. It sounds great.
You have to hear some of our stuff.
Do you want me to stay?
Yeah, you can say. Well, you don't have to say.
No, I can stay. I just don't
If
want
you want to hear about the cool stuff, there's more cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's not that much cool stuff. We're almost done.
Okay.
And so the next piece is the nomination of officer positions for school year 26-27 for our governing council. I am not going to be the president anymore, but I nominate Laura to be the president.
Second.
Boom, boom, boom.
What could go wrong?
Nothing. Everything's great. And so with our new bylaws, I think I default to vice president, which, hey, I'm happy to be that. Happy to be the VP. And then I think I want to kind of put, how do we feel, board members? I kind of want to put a pin in nominating secretary and treasurer until Martin is back, so that we have our full board in September. Do we want to just nominate people?
Is he the only missing board member?
He's the only missing board member.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that.
So
I don't know that anything's going to change, and I'm pretty confident that he is not interested in a position. So
we could just do it.
yeah, I mean,
So-
unless there's a reason to wait or there, I mean, I don't think I think he would support us, but,
He would support
Yeah.
it. Somehow I feel like he'd support it.
I do too.
And so what I want to say is that our secretarial duties, we actually have the wonderful Amy, and if Amy is not available, we have the also wonderful Cruz to help us with our secretarial duties. So the normal administrative tasks associated with being the secretary, we have stipends for. And so it's more just like if there's ever something that requires a signatory related to the secretary, which sometimes, for example, in a packet that we have to submit to our authorizer, it'll ask specifically for the secretary, and then that person would need to sign it. And so is there someone in this room who would like to be nominated secretary?
Who's the treasurer? That's what I want. I don't want to do that.
I'm gonna nominate Barb for that.
Okay.
I'm happy to be the treasurer. I need a treasurer.
Yeah, I could be the honorary treasurer, and then you could do it. Because I think this treasurer can serve dual roles.
Mhm.
So I'm happy to be the treasurer if someone wants to nominate me. I'll be VP and treasurer. Oh, I need to nominate. Sorry, I'm nominating myself.
Okay, so let's go back. I nominate Sam to be vice president this year.
Second.
And treasurer.
You don't have to do it.
No, I think
Wait, is someone gonna second me as treasurer?
Second.
Yes, Laura, thank you,
Okay,
because you
good.
moved it.
yeah.
And then I'm gonna nominate Estelle as secretary of the board.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
Love it. Love to see it. And then the next piece, oh, I'm sorry, let's do a roll call on all that.
Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Love it. Yay, we have all of our new officers. And then the next is we are looking for a new audit committee member. I'm going to be perfectly blunt with everybody. So the audit committee meets infrequently, but when the auditor does call a meeting, you got to go to it. And so I am starting law school, and I cannot be like, hey, school, I got to go because I have to be in the, you know what I mean? I can't do it. And so is there someone here who would be willing to be, Martin is the other one, and he's not getting out of it, he's going to be on the audit committee. And so we need one other person to be on the audit committee.
Gianna, how many meetings what does that look like?
So it kind of depends on how long the audit takes, and that's kind of up to the auditors. Usually it lasts from anymore May through about November, and it maybe means meeting like 5 times at the most. Usually it's less, and it depends on if we have anything that's a concern. Like if we had a real concern, we'd meet more often than that. Even we haven't had that at Taos Academy in the past. I can't talk about this year at all in an open meeting until it's approved by the state auditor. It's 5 days after his approval that you can talk about the current year audit. But right now, audit is underway, but we haven't really had any meetings except for the entrance interview, which we could catch you up with what's required. The auditors usually go over what's required of the audit, what the audit's supposed to do.
I would be willing to do that.
Perfect. I nominate Barb to, oh wait, unless you want to do it, Laura, but as the president, you're probably going to be on finance committee with me.
Hard pass.
Hard pass on the audit.
Yep.
Barb,
Yes.
we love it. Put her in, coach. She's on the audit committee. And then we don't
Thank
have.
you, Barb.
Thank you, Barb, for doing it. And then we don't have finance committee on here, but we will need to just talk about that at the next meeting. But typically it's the vice president, it's the president and the treasurer. So Laura, are you okay with us talking about that, doing that for next time. We just meet 30 minutes before the meeting.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So we'll make it official next month, but we'll pencil it in for now. I think that's it for this. We have one other thing, discussion and possible action of approval of disposal of assets related to a greenhouse. Someone else have that?
So we are still working with, our council to figure out what that process is. But we have a greenhouse that is about 12 years old. Staff have done an amazing job trying to upkeep it and repair it as best as they can. However, as we expand our STEM programs, we now offer green science from 5th grade all the way through 8th grade. There's a facility for them to actually engage in proper agricultural experiences. And so it is important to us that we update those facilities so they're more safe and just up to date what kids can use with modern green science technology.
Would we use CTE funding to create new facilities or?
I believe, Ms. Mooney, what is the fund that it's?
We would use SB9 funding.
Oh,
We have plenty of SB9 funding, so we would use that to go ahead and move forward with the new greenhouse. And then by law, we're required to do a disposal of the asset because it was over $5,000 when we bought it. But it was like back in 2012. So it's met its useful life already.
Is it a biodome? Do they do that? Yeah. Oh, and it's gone. It needs to be completely, yeah, got it.
we need to like give us when I was here. I will move to approve the disposal of assets related to a greenhouse.
Second.
What was the first approval?
It was
Me, Sam.
Sorry, Sam. Sorry.
Okay. Sam and Laura. Okay. Roll call, Sam,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and Barbara.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. Next is monthly GC calendar discussion. Is there something we do in September that's like a breakfast or something? Did we do something in
We did
September?
something last year, 2 things. We did a staff breakfast and then maybe a staff luncheon later on.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. Okay.
You did a staff breakfast, I think, in early in the year, and
Yeah.
then Martin dropped in pizzas.
Oh,
You
yeah,
did
the end of the
something.
year.
I
Well,
did the staff.
Yeah, we did finals week pizzas.
Graduation?
Yeah,
We did it for
Yeah,
finals.
September 19th last year we did, and Barb hooked us up a good deal. We did it September 19th last year. Somebody
I'm
probably
happy-
already said that, but
I'm happy to do it again, but I can't do it the week of the 19th.
Let's do a different week.
Okay.
And then we can help you financially.
Okay. I have a huge job the 19th and we'll just roll it all in.
Perfect.
So,
That too.
Yeah.
So you just tell us, or, is there a day? Maybe, Denisha, if you want to like look at the calendar and tell us what would be a good day that's not September 19th?
was that 40 people last, what did we do last, how many employees or?
Let's say, unless all of the board is gonna show up, we could do 32.
Okay, great.
I cannot be here. Unless it's some random day. In my local calendar, but I doubt it.
It could be, for me, it could be the week before, if you wanted to do something the week before that week of the 19th.
I think there's like a PD day. We do it for a PD or something.
My suggestion would be September 18th, which is our peak.
Yeah.
So
That
18th
can't do
will
that.
work.
I gotta
Sorry,
wait.
I
have
got
a training the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, there's October the 23rd.
We I could do that. That's really late. Is that okay with everything?
Not unless you want to do it on a regular school. Breakfast might be a bit difficult,
Okay.
but if you wanted to maybe do like an early dinner setup between 4:15 and 4:50 for staff. Or flight apps or something. I mean, breakfast, it's just that staff
Kids are-
come in, it's 7:45. Kids start coming in at the same time, and then class starts at 8.
I'm fine with the 23rd of October, but I mean, that is not a problem. Unless you want to do it earlier, in which case I'm fine. Light dinner, like you said, at 4 o'clock. I don't care. It's really up to you.
So you tell us.
Yeah.
Light dinner in September or breakfast in October?
Can we take it, can I take it to staff and come back to you
Yes,
guys
you can,
with a
actually.
response?
Love it.
Yep.
That's great. Good. And you just tell us how we can help and we will help.
Okay.
Yay. I think that's all I remember from our calendar. Is there anything else? We'll go back and look at the agenda for September last year to see if there's anything we approved or anything. But I think that's it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Well, if that's the case, then I'm gonna call this meeting over at 7 p.m.
So just quick things for the agenda, right? We tabled the discussions about, what did you want to table? The, I guess things we want to make sure we do. What did we table?
We tabled the foundation MOU.
That's what it was. Sorry, spaced out. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the thing. We obviously need to make sure we include for our next agenda.
I think it'll just depend on our legal counsel, because we're working with legal counsel on that. So tentatively, we'll pencil, thank you for reminding me of that, Laura. We'll pencil it in for September, but if it's not ready yet, then we'll kick it to when it is.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. All right, well, it's still 7, so I'm gonna call this meeting over at 7 on the news. Look at that 90-minute meeting.
Very good.
Like an efficient meeting.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye, Laura. Bye.
See you guys.